It's Wednesday the 1st of July. It's a Members' Day today, which means that after the general debate we'll go on to private, local and members' bills. But like most days, we started with oral questions. The first question is Mark Patterson to the Minister for Infrastructure about action that the government is taking to support infrastructure development. Todd Mallard to the Prime Minister whether she stands by the speech from the throne about a progressive tax system. Paul Goldsmith to the Minister of Finance, again about tax. Duncan Webb to the Minister of Finance about the government's investments to support workers and their families. Michael Woodhouse to the Minister of Health, trying to reconcile statements made by the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Health about the requirements for testing for COVID-19. Chris Bishop to the Minister of Transport about fuel revenue increases. Maya Lubeck to the Minister of Education about support for trades and vocational education. Ian McKelvey to the Minister of Fisheries about hectares of Maori dolphins. Jackie Dean to the Minister of Conservation about the Campbell Island Marine Reserve. Willow Jean Prime to the Minister of Workplace Relations about parental leave and the changes which came into effect today. Brett Hudson to the Minister of Police about gangs and guns, and Jan Logie to the Minister of Statistics about the 2023 census and questions about sexual orientation and gender identity. We'll then go on to the general debate, which is 12 5-minute speeches, sort of like once around the houses, no set topics, and then on to the Auckland Regional Amenities Funding Amendment Bill, third reading, pretty small technical bill to make sure that the authority only has to present one set of accounts. Currently they have to present two, according to two different sets of accounting standards. Then on to Members' Bill, the second reading of the Protection for First Responders and Prison Officers Bill, then the Education Strengthening Second Language Learning Bill in the name of Nikki Kay, the first reading. First reading of the fair residency for New Zealand superannuation and retirement income in the name of Mark Patterson, which raises the minimum requirement for residency in New Zealand for superannuation from 10 to 20 years, and the Rights of Victims of Insane Offenders Bill, first reading in the name of the Honourable Louise Upston. We'll finish tonight at 10 o'clock and we'll be back again at 2 o'clock tomorrow.